Numbers you're seeing about silver and gold are nothing short of astronomical. And that's because the paper to silver ratio alone sits at an absurd 407 to 1. And this should be sounding alarm bells everywhere. And it's this ratio here that means that for every 1 ounce of physical silver in existence, there's 407 paper claims floating around attached to that 1 ounce. So in other words, people are trading promises, not real tangible silver. Now here's where it gets interesting. If that derivative structure falls apart, at some point it very well could. That means everyone holding those paper claims will be scrambling to get their hands on something real and physical. And when that happens, the price could blow through the roof with figures we could never even imagine. And I'm not talking about some type of hypothetical modest uptick either. And that's because if we multiply the current price of around $30 or so for 1 ounce a day at that 407 ratio, we're looking at a potential price of over $12,000 an ounce. Think about that, $12,000 an ounce. Let's talk about it. All right, so wanted to take a quick minute, share some thoughts in reference to the gold to silver ratio, as well as the price of $1 to silver ratio based upon the derivatives futures that a lot of people are deciding to share the screenshots of these figures. And I wanted to share my 2 cents on it and just elaborate even more as to how those numbers are completely absurd. And to me, it signals that at some day in the future, there will come a day of reckoning, and that reckoning will ultimately reflect in the price of silver and gold going to figures that we can't even fathom. But in the meantime, I just want to give you some things to chew on and things to consider, and encourage you as well to make sure you continue to get your weight up regardless of whatever the price action is today, because we're witnessing right now in real time a monetary reset, because all fiat currencies measured in gold is failing right now. And it's just a matter of time before silver does the same thing. And so as always, if you guys want to see more of these little quick takes, definitely hit that thumbs up button right now. Make sure you click the notification bell, and then also leave a comment down below so that I know you guys are feeling me on this. And then more importantly, take this and share it with your family and friends and loved ones so they can see ultimately that the numbers don't lie. And at some point, they're going to wish that they were physical and not just living in the paper world. But yet, I know to some it might sound crazy, but it's because the current system is completely disconnected from reality. And so the vast majority of silver being traded is just paper, which is a financial illusion that has suppressed the real price of silver for years now, even decades. This isn't a fringe theory either. It's backed up by the very numbers you're about to see. And so the market is heavily manipulated through the use of these paper contracts. And when the day comes that people lose confidence in these paper promises, the physical market will explode, leaving the paper market in the dust. And so also, let's not forget gold in this equation as well. So as you can see on the screen here, the dollar to gold ratio in 1913 was $26.27 per ounce. And now it's mind-blowing $5,205. And that's a jump of more than 19,000% over the last century. And yet gold is still seen as an undervalued asset in many regards. And the question is, why? Because just like silver, it's part of a heavily manipulated market where derivatives control the game. So here we have the paper to gold ratio. And so at $130.73 to 1, which might seem lower than silver's, but still 130 paper promises for every physical ounce of gold is extreme. And it's a system that relies on trust. And when the trust evaporates, whether due to inflation, financial crisis, a banking event, or an unknown cyber attack, we can see gold shoot up in value just like silver. So it's important to understand just how disconnected these numbers are from the reality of the economy. As you see here, the dollar to silver ratio in 1913 was $2.72 for 1 ounce, but now it's $700 for that same ounce. And that's an astronomical jump, and yet it doesn't even begin to reflect the true potential of value of silver. So remember, silver isn't just a store of value, it's an industrial metal used in everything from electronics to solar panels and jewelry. And so the demand is growing, but the supply of physical silver is finite and heavily strained by decades of artificial price suppression through these paper markets. So here's the big picture. Silver and gold have historically been safe havens during economic turmoil. Right now, we're in that. We're in the midst of a monetary reset. And so with rampant inflation, ballooning debt, and central banks printing currency like there's no tomorrow, the value of currency is on the decline. And because we're in a presidential election cycle, it doesn't matter who wins the White House, because the same thing remains, the diminishing of purchasing power. And so whether it's Trump that wins the White House again, we've already down 98% purchasing power since 1913, or Kamala Harris. No matter what, since 1913, the Federal Reserve itself, and in collaboration with the federal government, is the reason for our problems. So at the end of the day, precious metals like gold and silver should, in theory, be skyrocketing right now in price when you look at all the devaluation of the currency, but they're not, at least not yet, because these paper markets keep them artificially low. It's like trying to hold a beach ball down underwater, and eventually it's going to pop up and it's going to shoot sky high. And when it does, anything holding physical gold and silver is going to see their wealth multiply in ways that they could never even imagine. It's going to dwarf every other asset you can hold. So it's worth mentioning that we're not just talking about a hypothetical scenario here. The writing is on the wall. The central banks around the world are hoarding gold at record levels. And so why would they be doing this if they didn't know a storm was coming? So they know something that the average investor doesn't. And so that's the current system is unsustainable. And when it breaks, hard assets like gold and silver will be the last one standing. So if you're looking at these numbers and still wondering what the true value of silver is, this $713 at this current moment is small compared to where it can go, because silver is and still will remain the most undervalued asset on the earth. And so this evidence alone makes it clear. So the price suppression won't last forever. And when it goes, the true value of these metals will finally come to light. Or will you be holding the real thing when the music stops? And then let's not forget that in 2 weeks, we got the BRICS meeting. And as of right now, the BRICS GDP to gold ratio, 1 ounce of gold is $136,309 per ounce. And then you factor G7 to GDP to gold ratio is $72,337 an ounce. And so even the gold price is nowhere near what it will be and what it could be when all this stuff clears. And so that's more reason why you should really consider gold and silver, even more so than what you've been doing before. And as always, I don't want to talk about the problems without presenting strategies and solutions, and especially things that I myself am doing as a way of helping better strategize around the obvious. And of course, for me, the easiest thing to do has been to get involved with silver and gold directly through joining silver networks as well as the gold network. And so for those who are not familiar, the silver team is something I've made available to everybody to join in, where you can automate your weight, help other people do the same, and then earn fiat that you can then redeem back for more silver. And once again, you get these little cards in the mail here, and then you open one of them up and you'll have a nice little beauty here. So this is something I just received, and it's a $50 2024 Barbados beauty, which is something worth paying attention to because it's nice and shiny on both sides. But once again, this comes monthly in the mail or something equivalent of that as a part of the automatic savings wealth program. And so if you're interested in finding out more about that, go to mysilverteam.com. I'm sure you won't be disappointed. And then also in reference to gold, the best way and the most affordable way to actually accumulate physical weight, i.e. gold, happens to be with the gold backs. And so here we have a bundle here of 100 count of gold 24 karat notes that's available to you as well if you so have interest. So as always, these things here only appreciate in value because the currency is being destroyed. So getting your hands on some of these gold notes could definitely go a long way. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, just go to buygoldnotes.com. Check out the opportunity there. So once again, between silver and gold, there's no excuse not to be able to get your weight up. So once again, just sharing my 2 cents on these matters, trying to show you some graphs and stats with some figures so that you understand that this is no game. This is real. And when the monetary reset unfolds completely, true price discovery will be made and people will be blown away with the figures. Hopefully you guys are in position to receive some of this price appreciation that's going to be available in the end. But anyway, just share my thoughts. If you found value, drop a comment, hit the thumbs up, take this and share it with your family and friends so it gives them an alternative perspective on what's real and what's not. Catch you later.